Give me a D and a G. It's the Dawg and Gus Show. It's the Dawg and Gus Show.
Welcome to the Dawg and Gus Show.
Now on Be Kind Radio.
Absolument.
Comment ça va? What are we doing today?
Hey, we're going to talk with Andrew.
Andrew Gharib, Desert Stranger. What is up, my man?
What's up, gentlemen? Thank you so much for having me today. It's great. It's a pleasure to talk to you again. It's been a while.
It has, yeah. 3-4 years-ish.
I don't tear.
Early on.
I don't remember,
early on.
man.
He was one of the Staples Studio.
He's OG.
He's OG, man. He's
Yeah.
OG. And I've only known him, I don't know, 36 years.
Yeah, roughly.
Maybe
I think
longer.
it's a bit more than that.
Yeah. Knoxdale, buddy.
Knoxdale days.
That's right. And then I left and moved again and went to Maryville Public, and then you went to somewhere else, and I went somewhere else, and here we are.
Freaking traitor. I forgive you.
Well, it was my mom moved. I don't know what to tell you. It's just the way it goes. I moved a lot. It was Knoxdale, Manordale, Maryville. That's the way it was.
I'll be here. Just let me know when you want me to talk.
Well, whenever you're ready, bud. Do you want to ask him something?
No.
Okay, fine. Well, we've got a little bit of time if you want to jump in.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So tell us, you've been working on a new single, right?
Yeah, I just put out a single last month, actually, and it's going really well. Shot a video for it, actually, in my apartment where I am right now. It was empty for a little while, so I got the director fella who directed for me, and we shot everything in here. It was actually kind of cool because it sort of fed into the storyline, and it was a good opportunity to sort of jump on it. I've been trying to sell my apartment for a little while, but man, the market is not great right now. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to switch and pivot and just come back. And then, maybe I'll revisit it later. But I think, it went pretty well. I'm super happy with the song. It's a little different than what I normally kind of do. It's a bit on the lighter side, I guess, but definitely super happy with it. It's called Look You in the Eye, and it's on YouTube.
Nice.
Excellent.
We'll put that link in there for everybody to see it.
I will write it down and play it on Tuesday.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dawg does a radio show called the Doghouse Sessions where he plays indie music, and he'll fire it in there.
Sure
Nice.
will.
Thank you. I've seen it.
Yeah. Happy to help. What's the biggest thing that has changed in the last, since the last time we spoke?
I mean, musically, I guess it's kind of the same. I mean, Desert Stranger is my solo project, so I'm still writing and recording and doing everything myself, most of everything. I'm no drummer or bass player, but the sound has changed a little bit. So the single came out, a month or so ago, but I have an album on the way, and it's in the process of being mixed. And it's quite a different sound than my first record, which came out a couple years ago in 2022. So I guess I went for a bit more of a kind of like maybe a bit of more of a hard rock edge to it. I'm somebody like I like to layer a lot of different sounds in my tunes, so that like Steve, we call it ear candy. Just it's kind of like a bells and whistles thing, so that the listener goes and comes back to a song, they'll hear something the second time or the third time that they didn't hear the first time. And I like to just kind of like have like an immersive, I went for like a more cinematic immersive kind of sound, but still lots of guitars, lots of distortion, lots of guitar solos, nothing crazy, but definitely like an evolution, like a step forward in the sound for sure.
That's cool. And EP or LP?
LP. Yeah.
Wow,
I think,
that's cool.
I think there's 12 songs this time, actually. Man, I got this cough. But I think there was 10 songs on my first record, and I had a bunch left over. It's kind of weird because I had I don't know how many I wrote for, how artists, like big name artists are always like, yeah, I wrote like 250 songs for this record, but they're just ideas, right? Like you didn't write 250 full songs, I guarantee that. But with my situation, I had a whole bunch. I had maybe around like, I don't know, 25 or 30 or something like that. And the ones that made it onto the first album, like I had a whole bunch left over that were kind of already worked on. And because they had that sort of a different sound, I didn't include them, but I already had like a stock full of songs that I could like form as a basis for the next album. So this album really, like the upcoming one, it's an LP with 12 songs, and I've been working on these tunes for quite a while, actually, and it's almost done. So I'm super excited to kind of near the finish line here soon.
Nice. Yeah. Are you printing copies of it?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a must, I did it for the first album, and I don't know. It's just a cool thing to do. And people like that now. So I think it's a must. You know, it's expensive as hell, but like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's just the way. It's just the cost of it. It's an expensive thing to produce, but it's definitely 100% worth it. So for sure, I'm gonna be doing it.
Yeah, oh yeah. Vinyl. So when you write a song, do the lyrics come first, or does the melody pull the song out of you?
I guess, you know, I grew up a guitar player. Well, I grew up a piano player and then a guitar player and then a singer. So I kind of went in that order. So melody always came first. And I just have an easier time writing lyrics over a melody. So the song on guitar will come first. Like a melody will just like pop into my head. And then I'll work on that for a little bit and then the lyrics come. But you know, like sometimes like I'll be driving and then a melody will hit me like lyrically, like phonetically, not words yet, but phonetically, I'll hum something and I'll be like, "Oh man, that's a really cool hook," you know? And then I'll hum it into my phone or whatever for, you know, to refer back to it later. But yeah, generally speaking, like that melody can come first. So it can work both ways, but like most of the time I would say, you know, the guitars are coming first for me.
It's cool. Yeah. Is there a song you've written that people completely misunderstood?
Ooh, completely misunderstood. I don't know. That's a tough question.
You bring it, buddy.
Yeah, we're bringing the
I
heat.
that's something I like. I really have to think about like really carefully. Is somebody misunderstood? Yeah, I think that has definitely happened. And I'm just trying to remember the name of the song here. I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think that's definitely happened. I think that's definitely happened. Let me think here. Yeah, I mean a lot of it too, like sometimes I write a lot of songs about relationships and dynamics between people, but not always. And sometimes people can take one of my songs and just misinterpret it completely. Like there was one song, actually a drummer I worked with, there was one song on my first album. I think because I mentioned something like vaguely religious in the song lyrics, he was like, "Oh, is this song about, you know, religion or whatever?" And I was like, "No, it was just kind of like an overall context." I guess like I'm kind of subtle in my lyric writing. I prefer if I hint at something rather than say it explicitly. Um, and I think that was one of the songs that, you know, I think he just kind of misunderstood the message of it. And oh, it just made me realize like when you write a song, like, of course, I have an idea of what it's about. I wrote it, but whoever else listens to it, they're gonna absorb it in their own lens and they're gonna apply their own life experience to it, their own personal opinion about it. And what comes out at the end of it could be like totally different than what my interpretation of that song is. I think that's the coolest thing about music that, you know, you throw it out there and everybody interprets it in their own way. So I think, yeah, that has definitely happened for sure.
Yeah. What's the most personal song you've written that almost didn't make it because it was too real?
I guess that would be, I mean, the title of my first record and the name of the song. The song is called Maybe I'm Blind, which is about a relationship breakup. And that was a hard song to write. Like it was kind of a very raw experience. And I mean, I guess I thought about it, but when you're putting this stuff out, like you have to be vulnerable. Like you just have to be. And I think that's where the best music comes from. That authenticity. I think, you know, writing from that personal experience, it's like if I, you know, if I didn't put it out, it's like, what's the point of what I'm doing? You know what I mean? It's like, what would be the point of, you know, might as well go paint and, you know, never show people my paintings or whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think if the more real something is, you know, the more like heart on your sleeve kind of thing that something is, the more people are bound to connect to it. So that song, Maybe I'm Blind, was actually the first song I wrote as a solo artist. And I was like, man, this is very, I used to write really heavy music back in the day in a different band. And so going to that sound was a departure. So I definitely thought about it, but I was like, yeah, I mean, of course I'm going to do it. Of course I'm going to do it.
Yeah. That's cool. It's true though. Like the vulnerability is always some of the best music, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Vulnerable songs, I guess. When you perform like say that song live, does it still hit the same emotionally?
Yeah, it does. I think so. I think it's one of those songs that just like it's always going to be something I perform, no matter what's, you know, what other songs I'm doing. And I think it has the, you know, not to, you know, put myself up too much, but I think it has a bit of I think it has a timeless quality to it. At least the subject matter does, you know, and I think it's a very relatable song. And it's a very like easy, like it's on the surface, it's very like an easy listening song almost. It's like the first song, it's like the one song that is like, oh, is he trying to do country music or something? Like it's almost going in that direction. And yeah, I think it definitely hits the same over the years. Like it's still in the set list. I think it always will be because I think it's just really strong.
Nice. It is a strong song.
Strong song. What's the best show you played in the last year or so?
Well, I played at the now non-existent, sadly, Brass Monkey, where I got to play I guess a new local festival called It's the Next Level. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it was my first show in quite a while, and I was able to kind of showcase like a lot of these new songs off of this new album that's coming out later this year. And yeah, it was a great time. I mean, I've played so many times at Brass Monkey, and it's always good. It just always is good. I mean, I've been literally going into that building since I was in high school. Like I used to go, it used to be called the Broken Q, which you guys
did,
know
right?
about that, right? Of course, you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I was there,
So-
man. I saw somebody get whacked with a friggin' pool cue.
Probably your fault again.
Yeah, it wasn't me. Of
Did you ever play euchre there?
course. Yeah,
You know how to
that
play
was-
euchre?
Yeah, I'm a good euchre player.
So like I used to cut class and go there and play euchre with like random older guys drinking. It's just the weirdest.
That's where I know you from.
Yeah.
You were the older guy, right?
Yeah, I still am.
Like shit, I owe him $500, but
And
yeah, pay up. But yeah, I mean, I've been going there for so long that it's just kind of an institution. It was very, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't terribly surprised that it closed. I know they were kind of having some problems before, maybe more towards like around the pandemic time.
Mhm.
Or I don't know if they closed once and then reopened, or I forget what happened exactly, but
They did, and they said that they were doing it to renovate it.
which they didn't.
Well, they did a couple of things, but didn't do very much. But on a positive note, apparently the people who've taken it over, it's an arcade type place now, but they've kept the stage from what I'm
Really?
hearing. Yeah.
New-
So we
new
might
venue.
hear of this place being another, like the Brass Monkey, but it's going to be more of like a House of Targ type thing.
House of Targ West.
Yeah, this is what I'm thinking.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty promising then. That's great.
There you go.
Hopefully what I'm hearing is actually the truth. I don't remember who I was speaking to about it, but
I saw it on Facebook. I think you shared it. Maybe you shared it or someone shared it because I saw the same thing, and it was
Okay.
It's pretty cool to see. I mean, obviously it's a place that you can't really. I mean, what else are you going to put in there? Really? I mean,
yeah,
it's
another
got-
broken cue.
no pool hall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a great idea.
The
Well,
pool
and then
tables
all
are
the-
there. I mean, everything's
Yeah,
in there.
seriously.
All the gangsters can come back and beat each other with pool cues.
And euchre.
Yeah, exactly. Euchre and broken cues, literally. Have you ever had a gig where it kind of went completely sideways?
Oh my God, yeah. Oh yeah. Holy jeez. Yeah. I mean, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I played a festival in and I'm just gonna tell you it's a stupidly embarrassing thing, and I'm gonna say it anyway because why not? There was
wait.
a festival I played downtown. It was short lived. Maybe about like 7 or 8 years ago, called Glow Fair. They would have a bunch of different events and like all that glow stick shit, people doing like, like those silent dance parties, that sort of thing. And they had a stage set up in the parking lot just off Bank Street, like near Bank and Albert sort of thing. And we played it. I mean, it was really good. It was great. It was really well run. The people were excellent. I get on and, we start playing a song, and I forget how it happened exactly, but I lost, this is so fucking embarrassing. Okay, so I was on I was on one of my pickups on my guitar, and I changed the pickup mid song, and the signal cut, and I was like, oh no, shit. The band kept going, and I think a roadie or somebody was like helping me like quickly switch guitars, and then a buddy like after the show told me, he's like, yeah, like, did you have your volume all the way down on that second pickup? I'm like, yeah, I did. I forgot to turn the volume knob up because the pickup selectors have their own volume controls. So on one of them, it was all the way up. On the other one that I switched to was all the way down. And anyways, he never let me live that one down. And frankly, I deserve it. That was one of the most amateur hours I think I've ever had. That was, but we finished the show, of course. Guitar switched fairly quickly, and we just kept going, and everything was all good. Now that's out there in the world forever.
Yep.
It's a live show. Something's
Yeah,
going
yeah.
something's gonna
Seriously,
happen.
it's not like,
Yeah.
I mean, stuff happens.
That's why we like that grimy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
During the
Exactly. What's the strangest venue you've ever played?
The strangest venue? Strangest venue. I think it's like the strangest and the coolest venue at the same time is the Bovine Sex Club in Toronto. It's Yeah. I mean, it's full of all sorts of really weird trinkets all over the walls, all over the ceiling, crazy cool lighting. That place is still going. I mean, that place is an institution. I haven't played there in 20 years, but that's definitely the strangest place I played in, but also the coolest. I want to emphasize that part too.
Nice. Well, it sounds like a cool place.
Well, it gets your attention with the sex part, right?
Sex.
Let's call our bar the Bovine Sex Club.
I'm in.
Why not?
I'm in.
Stay loud.
If someone had never heard your music before, what 3 artists would you use to help describe your sound?
3 artists? Yeah, I think I think Kings of Leon is in there for sure. But it's not just that. It's like if Kings of Leon met some, I suppose, like Matthew Good is a really big influence on me. I think that sound is definitely in there. There's definitely a lot of that. There's definitely a huge U2 comparison, but not like in the way that you might think. It's not like, oh, it sounds like this. It's more like, oh, it's an amalgamation of these things put together. And you can probably hear, if you listen for it, certain aspects of each of those artists in there. It's not like a direct one-to-one comparison. I remember a long time ago, a reviewer likened my voice to, what's his name? Jim James. Do you know Jim James? He's the lead singer of a band called My Morning Jacket.
I remember them.
They're a terrific band. Yeah. So I think there's definitely a bit of comparison there too, vocally, anyways.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna ask. Where did the name Desert Stranger come from originally?
Well, pardon me. So my last name is Gharib, as you know, and that name literally means stranger in Arabic. And I guess as I understand it, it's kind of a nickname that people would give like a newcomer that they didn't know, a stranger, kind of historically. And I kind of dug into that with my parents a little bit, and I was like, so like, what do you mean? Like, was our name like given to us and it was just nicknamed that way? And like, I think that's kind of how it happened. So that might not even be like my true real last name, but that is like where it came from. And then I guess the desert part is just, I guess I have a bit of a fascination with desert, with the scenery of a desert, the temperature of a desert, the look of it, the feel of it, the vastness of it, the kind of like it looks empty on the surface, but it absolutely is not empty. You know what I mean? There's a lot of life in the desert. There's a lot going on. That was more of like a kind of a cinematic sort of choice to use that word in the name. I did think about for a while, like changing it to Andrew Stranger, because that's just a direct, translation of the name. And I thought it might be good to use my first name kind of in the band name. But, I went with Desert Stranger, and I'm quite happy with that choice.
Nice.
Could have went Stranger Andrew. No. All right.
Well, maybe.
I'll show myself out.
If Desert Stranger was a movie character, who would play you?
Man, you guys are just killing it with the questions. My goodness.
We got better at this.
If Desert Stranger was played by an actor, what actor would it be? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Wow, that's such a great question. I love that question. And I don't want to just be like, oh, Bill Murray or whoever, like I want to actually think about this for a second. I don't know. I would say, the funny thing is like I'm thinking about my favorite actors, and
it can be
I
one
want
of
to
them,
say
buddy.
my favorite actor because he's no longer my favorite actor because he did some shit.
Oh, he's a diddler.
Yeah. He goes by the name of Kevin Spacey. I know. This guy was my favorite actor for like 30 years or whatever. And then all of a sudden, all this shit comes out. I'm like, you're kidding me? God, I got to change favorite actors? No, kidding. But I don't know. Actually, you know what? I watched the movie just yesterday because the Oscars were on, and I was kind of trying to watch a couple of the different nominees or whatever. I would say one of my favorite actors is Benicio del Toro. He has like this kind of like a smoldering intensity to him, and he's got something beneath his characters that you're always just like, what's going on with that guy? You know what I mean? And by the way, both of those two actors are in my favorite movie of all time, The Usual Suspects.
And
I think that probably
I was going to ask you a question about that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you know what? I think Benicio, and he's such a great actor too. I think One Battle After Another, by the way, is the one I watched yesterday. So he's in that. He was really good in it.
Yeah, that won a few.
The small beer.
Yeah, small.
That was good. Yeah.
Do you know Kaiser Sosa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fucking Yeah, I love him and Sicario. Like he's
That
like,
was a great.
both of them.
Oh,
So
He's
so
like-
good.
So
it's like
good.
it's so dark and like he just plays it so well.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I don't know who would play me. Who would play you?
I have no idea. I know you want to
You're
go
like,
with
I
Vince
don't answer
Vaughn,
my
but
own
there's-
question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're part of this show too.
yeah, we sure are.
Um,
He just likes to talk about himself.
But yeah, fair. Yeah, you're next, I think.
Yeah, I am. Do you write songs fast, like to come out to you really quickly, or do you have like something you sit on for months before it becomes a song?
The idea comes pretty quickly, but the execution takes a long time. It does. It's interesting because actually I'm working on a song right now that is almost done, but I need to kind of go back and revisit it because it's not really working for me right now. And then I went back, I listened to the original demo of the song before we did the actual real production. And there's quite a few differences quite a few like small differences that add up to a really different feel. And I'm going to go back and like make some adjustments and make it workable. But yeah, like, and that song in particular was part of the first batch of songs of my first record. So, I mean, that song's been around for like 4 years, which is, that's a long time to sit on a song, but on the other hand too, playing both sides, I guess, because it really does depend. Sometimes songs come together so fast and they just work right away. There's something that about it that I don't know. It's magical. It's like magic. It just appears out of thin air and then it just works. Other songs, like the ideas are really good, but you really got to work on developing them and think a little bit more carefully about like where it's going and where it's going to end up. But yeah, most of the time the ideas come quickly. Execution takes a while. I don't produce my stuff. If I did, I think my songs would sound a lot different because I'd probably produce a lot faster, because I would just sit in my studio and do it. And I mean, I do that. I do all my demos, but in terms of the finished product, like I like to put it through real production quality kind of stuff so that you wring out the best possible version of what you're doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would say for sure, my stuff takes a long time. And I mean, my first album came out in 2022 and we're a quarter of the way almost through 2026. I don't really want to release stuff every 4 years. That's not ideal for me. Because I have a lot of material, but I'd much rather do it every couple of years, but it just didn't work out that way. And that's fine. That's fine too. They'll be ready when they're ready.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you can't finish the product without having thought about it and going through the motion, right?
How's your song?
My song's still 46 years in the making. If you just robbed a bank, okay, so picture yourself, you just robbed a bank, and
Okay.
you're in the car. You just got to the car. What song's playing as you're racing away?
Be Quiet and Drive by Deftones.
Oh,
Very good.
I go back to Steve Miller again. Take the money and run.
It's too easy.
I know,
That worked.
but
That
I
worked
just couldn't.
too.
I didn't want to think too much
I'm
today.
gonna go because we went to school at the same time and this song came out. I'll go "Good Vibrations" by Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Classic
Classic getaway
like grade
tune.
six dance vibes, right?
That's right. That's right. I was in my Bo Jackson Nike full tracksuit, and I still wish I had that thing because that thing was fucking awesome. Bo Jackson.
The early
I
90s.
know. Yeah.
The early 90s was a special time. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You need to remember I'm like 18 years older than you are, right?
Oh, that's all right.
What you were going through at your time, I was not even.
That comment wasn't for you.
I thought it was. I thought everything was
for
about
us.
me. Oh yeah,
Andrew
'cause,
and
yeah,
I.
Yeah, I'm here as an afterthought.
No, that's not true.
No, it is.
Stop being.
It hurts my feelings.
Not true. You have your own. You can have your own moment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
With Andrew,
I feel like
'Cause, we could talk about things. Hey, remember the time when we were at the Overflow and we talked and James wasn't there? Yeah,
That's true.
I had
That's
my
true.
moment. I had my moment. Good.
I feel bad about that.
What song that you recorded, put on the album and stuff, you thought would be a huge impact and really wasn't to you?
I don't know. I think tough one. Probably the first single I put out. It's called Interstellar, and I guess it has that sort of. It's definitely got that kind of more these alternative influence on it, and I don't know. It just didn't seem to get very much reaction at all, and it could be for that reason. I have no idea. But I think it's a good song, but it's got a bit of a weird kind of tempo to it. It's not something that's like it's easy to get into. Like it's a really fun song to play, and I don't think it's on my current set list for that reason actually, because at times it's hard to gauge the audience connection sometimes. But I think for that one in particular, for whatever reason, I actually chose it as my first single off my first album. But like, obviously, I felt really strongly about it. And I still do. I still do think it's a good song. I just don't think it connected. It's hard to know why. It's hard to know why. I don't know why. And that happens. That happens. I did a review, an album review, a couple of a couple weeks ago or so, where I talk about an album that I love, but for some reason the band chose the lead single ended up being like literally the worst song on the album, and that happens too. Sometimes you don't read your audience correctly. Also, nobody, no band really knows what's going to hit. I think they know, but they don't. I don't believe they know. They'll have a good idea, you know. I mean, some bands are obviously exceptions to that rule, but I think in most cases, you could probably ask any band, you know, did any of your singles not hit? And I'll be like, yeah, absolutely, you know. So I think that one for me.
Yeah, I think that everybody has one that
Well,
they think that way, and then
absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of times it's like, it's not even the band choosing, right? It's the PR guy at the label saying, yeah, this
At
is
the
the one we
label.
want. Cause this is, if you're on a label, right? And they say, guys, this is an amazing album, but we're going to take this song. And the band kind of goes like, so sometimes it's even out of their hands, right? As
Oh
far as
yeah,
I understand.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
I like Interstellar. That's a good song.
Yeah, me too.
What's something about the music industry that fans would be shocked to learn?
I was gonna say most bands are dirt poor, but I think people already know that. I think people already know that. I don't know if they would be shocked to learn just how kind of, I choose my words carefully here, how it's like rife with landmines all over the place. And if you're not careful, people will suck you dry and take you for all you're worth, whatever that is. You know, I was shocked to read an article a couple of years ago. One of my favorite bands called Chevelle, who have been an active band for 25 plus years, like since 1999, and I've been going to see them live since then. Basically said like, yeah, like we don't really make very much money, and I'm like, these guys have a major label backing them. They put out an album like literally every 2 years. They're one of the most consistent bands, 2 or 3 years over the years. They relentlessly tour, and mostly in the States. I don't really see them going to Europe too much. And the odd shot, I mean, I've seen them in Canada, obviously too, but mostly they're touring in the States, just all over the place. Because obviously there's a lot more opportunity to tour in the States, given that it's a bigger country than us. So I was definitely really shocked to hear that, you know, they're not exactly, I wouldn't say like they're not making ends meet, but you would think that at least like they'd have a sustainable um like career out of it. So I think that's a bit of a shocking thing too. And then there's maybe, I don't know if the average fan really understands like music royalties and how Spotify has just basically destroyed the entire music industry altogether. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, by the way, but like Spotify is the worst thing to happen to musicians ever. It's great for consumers. It's great for consumers. It's amazing for consumers, of course. It's like easy to use. It's a one-stop shop. You can take it anywhere. But for the industry at large, like for musicians, it's a total disaster. Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard
I don't know
that
if
more
that
than
answers your
once.
question.
No, it
Sorry?
does.
No,
It
it
does.
does.
I just posted something recently, actually. In 1990, artists received 65% of their music's money made on music, right? And Spotify takes 1/3 of a penny, or you get 1/3 of a penny on each stream for your music.
I opened up my bank account the other day. I actually got a direct deposit from SoCan for 30 cents. It's pretty exciting. You know, I mean, nobody goes into music thinking like they're going to be rich. If they do, then they're insane. Yeah, like I mean, it's a conglomerate, it's a monopoly. It's disappointing. You know, actually one thing I see a lot of bands doing, and then I'm going to start doing more as well, is really just promoting the hell out of Bandcamp. Bandcamp is really the only website where like the artists are actually keeping a good chunk of their, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but they're keeping a good chunk of their money. And every so often, I want to say every month, I don't know exactly if it's every month, but they'll do a Bandcamp Friday, meaning that any sales that occur on that Friday that they decide whatever that day is, 100% of all the sales go to the artist. So I think that's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of like a universally known problem, I think, in the music industry.
If we two know about it, then it's definitely universally known.
Yeah, we've heard it before for
Yeah.
sure. And I think that one thing of like we talked about you pressing albums and making sure that you know, when you're at the show, buy something from the artist because that's kind of where
Absolutely.
they get paid, right? So
That's right.
Dog's very good at buying stuff at the show. So am I. I always like, yeah, at least a sticker, and I get usually a t-shirt or literally wearing one from a band called Ronin. That's from, it's just,
When we
you have to do it. And that's our,
we try our best.
that's our credo really is
Yeah.
we support the local
Yeah.
people and get them fucking
Yeah.
listened to.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, when you decide, like when you're doing a live show, and do you, like if somebody approaches you, say somebody else from the Ottawa scene, and you kind of go, yeah, probably not a good idea for me to play on the same stage as you guys. Have you ever had that? I'm not asking for names. I'm just kind of, have you ever been approached by somebody and you kind of go, oh, I'm not sure how that will work?
I haven't actually. I think most people are pretty good about ensuring that, it's like a consistent presentation across genres. I've never personally run into that problem. But I also like, and I'm playing this weekend, so it's like I know the other artists on my bill. They're definitely a little bit different than what I'm doing, and not like so different that it's just like wickedly out of place or whatever, but different enough so it gives like a bit of a variety of different flavors from the same soup, so to speak. And I don't know if I would like turn something like that down. Like I wouldn't want to turn down an opportunity. It would have to be a pretty stark difference in style for me to turn something like that down, because ultimately, I mean, if a band is coming up and trying to network with you, I think that says a lot about what they think of you. So I think you should, like as the artist, I would do my best to kind of be accommodating. Would I, as Desert Stranger, perform with an instrumental jazz trio? But probably not. But I would make every effort to get, because that's the best way to get to know people as well, to network it within the community of artists here. You meet people that you normally might not otherwise have met. I'll give you like a quick story. I started dabbling in acting a couple of years ago, and I did a couple of short films with the students at the Algonquin film program. And after I worked with them, I ended up hiring a few of them, not the whole exact team, but a few of them to do like a whole production for a single I put out last year. So it's like, if I didn't meet them through the acting thing, I wouldn't have found them to do the music video for me. So every opportunity could lead to another one. You know what I mean? So I think it's wise to really be open-minded with other artists, regardless of what kind of music they play.
Yeah, and I think there's two sides to that too. You also get new ears on your music.
exactly.
And like you never know, somebody might like your stuff that's going to see the other band and the other way around too, right? So I think that you're right. It's definitely about who you meet and how that goes, right? I mean, if we never went to grade school together, I don't know if we would have had him on the podcast, to be honest.
He wouldn't be on the
I'm
podcast.
just kidding.
Definitely not. Got to throw that jab in there.
We had such a good time. Man, I have little kids, and it's like when you think about how we played, and we got to like play till the lights went on in the street, and like these poor kids, they just don't have the same experience,
I know.
Yeah,
Well, they're stuck on
it's crazy.
screens.
Yeah, now my
Well-
kids aren't, but like I mean,
Good.
they get on it once in a while, but it's like you gotta shut it down, and
Yep.
then you see the attitude after, and you're like,
Oh.
oh fuck, like
Well-
you're taking that shit away right
Well,
now.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you deal with kids, and then you get
Yeah.
to go home.
Well, it's the
I
same.
have to go
Yes.
home to kids.
Well, that's the bane of your existence,
Yeah.
mister. It's not my
They're
fault.
the best. They're the best. I'm just,
I noticed that actually, because you mentioned that, just like watching them out at recess playing, because you're not allowed to touch each other. There's no contact because you don't want to hurt anybody. And it's like, I remember throwing kids off of hills.
oh, it was King,
Hey,
of, the, King of the Hill.
Exactly. Trying to come up here.
King of the Hill.
Oh yeah, we get
Fucking Jeff Power throwing us around.
they get
Oh,
that
yeah.
shut down so quickly now.
Fucker. He was always big. Remember, he was big early. I remember he had hair under his arms when he was like fucking 12. I still hadn't hit puberty yet. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Let's do rapid fire, dog.
All right.
You go first.
Do you want to do it with Andrew or just you and me?
Preferably with Andrew.
All right,
Yeah.
then. Favorite artist of all time.
Oh, that's you too. That's an easy one.
That's why it's rapid fire.
Yeah, it was pretty rapid. I
Rapid.
wasn't ready. Most underrated artist right now.
Most underrated artist. How rapid does this have to be? I would say, let me go off the board, and I'm gonna say, I don't know if they're really underrated. I don't know, but I'm gonna say All Them Witches.
All right.
Nice choice.
Yes, absolutely. Favorite album to listen to front to back?
I really love, I actually did this the other day. I really love Deftones album called Koi no Yokan.
All right.
I think it's a killer. I think it's a really killer one.
What's yours?
Folsom Prison Blues. Folsom Prison. Live at Folsom Prison, sorry.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I always go to Nirvana Unplugged in New York.
That's a great one.
Classic.
I don't know why. Although I like all those MTV Unplugs, but that's it. So a song you wish you wrote.
Oh my God. So many. Oh boy. Great question. Song I wish I wrote. Okay. This is going to turn into slow fire here. Just, I mean, like, take your freaking pick, man. There's so many of them.
No, you take your pick.
Yeah.
Let me say, I've listened to songs and I can very clearly remember thinking exactly this, like, oh my God, this song is so good. I wish I wrote it, but I just can't remember off the top of my head, like what it was. Let's say, you know what? I'll give you a good one.
Soon?
Pictures of You by The Cure.
Nice choice.
Nice choice. Are you going to say one? Or
I
was
did
gonna...
the last one. Oh, you want me to say a song I wish I wrote?
Yeah.
Brothers in Arms.
Well, that one hits you in the feels. I'll go with Nowhere Man from the Beatles.
It's a good song.
Shit.
Best concert you've ever been to so far?
U2 on the Elevation tour in 2001. It was right after 9/11. It was like 3 weeks after 9/11, and it had a whole different, like, the world had a different, like, tinge to it, and so the show was incredibly emotional and powerful. Otherwise, I would say I saw. I think about 4 years ago, I saw Tool. That was one of the best shows I've ever seen, and I think those are two of my top shows ever.
Some good ones. You want to go? We just want to move.
You want to go, eh?
I don't want to go. I'm okay.
Well, tell me one that you like.
The Black Keys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I never remember the group that opened for them, but they were incredible. And I can't remember the name of the group, but it was such a great show.
I can't think of one, although Pearl Jam was pretty good a couple of years ago.
Well, Rammstein was good too.
Rammstein was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy show. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what got me in the feels. Like Eric Church was really good too. And I like Eric Church.
Yep.
Yeah. What's next for you this year?
Well, I've got a show this weekend. I'm playing it live on Elgin, and that's on this Saturday. And I mean, after that, I'm planning on doing something live in the studio. So one thing I've really dreamed of for a long time, and just never did, was I see a lot of bands recording live in the studio, but they're recording covers, and they're doing covers that are like very highly interpreted in their own way. And I've always wanted to do something like that, like have a lot of cameras, do a lot of slow shots, a lot of different angles, have a full band, obviously, and just do a cover that is, a song that I love, but done in a way that's maybe a little bit unexpected. So I think that's on the agenda. And then later in the year, I am going to put out my full record and do a CD, a release party. I haven't decided where that is yet and when, but probably most likely in the early fall. I'm going to do something like that with the full album. And then, we'll see what happens after.
Good.
Love it.
So when you're not doing the music thing, what are you doing?
Well, you know what, man? I've been on a pretty crazy fitness journey the last couple of years. I've lost close to 40 pounds at this point. And I'm in the gym 4, 5, sometimes 6, sometimes even 7 days a week. It's something that I really just, feel really excited and passionate about. And I spend a lot of my free time doing that. I'm also taking an acting class right now, actually. My last class is this week, so that's been really fun. I like dipping into a different creative outlet like that. It's really challenging, actually. It's quite challenging being an actor, and it challenges you in ways that there's like overlap between music and other forms of art, and it's just interesting to kind of see how those art forms inform like the choices that I make when I'm doing them. You know what I mean? I think that's a really fun thing to do.
When are you going to do it?
I work out every morning.
No, I meant acting.
Oh, I should.
That's why I asked.
I'm busy. I'm on the Ottawa Acting Facebook page. Once in a while, they send me like I do a little something to just say whether it gets put out or not. But I'm not Andrew style. Like I could do it. I'd love to do it. It's just I have a lot of other passion projects I'm around, including a podcast and other things.
You do a podcast. Good for
I
you.
do a couple.
Do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's lots of calls for like background actors too. If you ever
Yeah,
want
I
to just, that's actually an easy gig to get.
Well, you should send me the link later, and then I'll do
See,
that. But like, the problem is I'll be so good looking in the back that they'll be like,
They're like, who's that
I
guy?
can't
Get him up
focus
here.
on the actor. I have to see that guy. Who's that guy? Yeah, that could be my big break, Andrew. That's a good call. Yeah, I'd love to do that actually. If you want
You
to
never
keep me in
know.
mind for that. Yeah.
and yeah,
If you could sit down for a drink with any musician, alive or dead, who would it be, and what would you ask them?
I mean, I'd have to go Bono on that one. Actually, I would ask him like, what drives you? I mean, I already know what drives him, but I would really want to hear it from him, and I would really want to know what is it that like, how is it that what you're doing grabs people so effectively? Like, where do you think that comes from? Like, what is the actual genesis of that invisible connection? I think that would be a fascinating discussion. I would really want to know.
Nice.
yep. All right, Andrew. I don't remember the last time we spoke. Whether you choose, because my English is so goodly, but you're going to have to choose again between the 80s and the 90s. I'm sure your answer won't change, but go ahead and tell us.
Oh man, I forget what I said last time. Damn.
Perfect.
Do you guys remember
Well,
what I
being
said?
this-
Probably not.
Now, being the same age as Gus, I figured that you went 90s, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. And are we talking strictly just music?
Decade of music.
Decade of music, yeah.
Like best decade
Not
of music?
fashion,
Yeah.
not fashion, because the 80s would get their asses kicked for that.
Yeah.
We had people are still trying to copy 90s fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flannel's making
Go
a
ahead.
comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
believe it ever left.
I think, yeah, exactly. I think I'm remembering now, like thinking about this question last time, and I'm coming to the same conclusion. Like, it's really close. It's really, really, really close. Because I was born in
But-
1980. So, like, both decades matter, but they mattered at different points in my life. And the points in my life that were the most formative, that really affected me, and I'm giving you a really long-winded answer, is the 90s for sure. So the 90s is going to win for me.
I think that's what he said last time, too.
I don't think he took give us that much in depth.
No, he's gotten more introspective since last
Yeah,
time we
he's
spoke.
thought about this for a couple of years. You
Yeah.
know, I didn't
Yeah.
really like my answer.
Yeah,
last
he's
time.
gonna. They're gonna ask
Every
me
day.
again. I know it's. I
Yeah.
know they're gonna ask me again.
Well, Andrew, thanks again for joining us. We always like talking to you, and obviously we'll follow along, and the album will get released. Hopefully, you'll love everything about it. Can't wait to get a hard copy of it because both of us will want one.
Yep.
And yeah, that's fantastic, buddy. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. Pleasure to talk to you, and can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus, Dawg and Gus.